I just got back from doing ayahuasca in Costa Rica, so let's get into it. As you can imagine, I had a hell of an experience, so I'm going to be splitting up my experience through different videos. We're going to start from the beginning. This video you're watching right now will tell you all about the preparation, so everything I did leading up to my ayahuasca experience. So first things first, what is ayahuasca? When I posted about my trip on Instagram and TikTok, a lot of you were already familiar with it. A lot of you left comments saying, oh my gosh, that sounds so scary. There's a lot of information floating around on the internet, so I'm going to give you a very brief explanation so we're all on the same page. And to do this, I'm going to reference the FAQ on the Rythmia website. Ayahuasca is a sacred plant-based medicine that is indigenous to the Amazonian region, and it's known for producing hallucinogenic effects. It is prepared by brewing the bark of the Banisteriopsis caapi, a type of jungle vine, with Psychotria viridis, which comes from the leaves of a native shrub. I know I butchered the pronunciations, but here's the key part. The leaves contain the psychoactive substance DMT. You may have heard of it. It's also nicknamed the spirit molecule. And it may be trendy now, but its origin goes back thousands of years to the indigenous tribes in the Amazon rainforest. It's been used as a sacred medicine for healing, divination, and spiritual communion by indigenous shamans and healers for generations. So fast forward to today, and a lot of people take ayahuasca to transform their lives. And based on my experience, that's a huge understatement. Now that we have a basic understanding, I want to talk about why I chose Rythmia to do my ayahuasca ceremony. Now, to understand why I chose Rythmia, you need to know a little bit about me first. Hi, I'm Colby, Leo Sun, Virgo Rising, Pisces Moon. I'm a little bit bougie. I like nice things. I like luxury. Not like a luxury handbag, but I like to be comfortable. I like comfort. You feel me? So I'd been interested in doing ayahuasca for years. My boyfriend and I actually had a shared interest in this. But a lot of the stories I heard, people were in the middle of the jungle, they were pooping in buckets, it was raining, it just really wasn't my scene, honestly. So I kind of just put it on the back burner and forgot about it. Until I was watching a YouTube video of one of my good friends, JK Ultra, Jen, and she started talking about her ayahuasca experience at a place called Rythmia. Jen and I are pretty similar in a lot of ways, so when she recommended the place, I was like, okay, my ears kind of perked up. And if you haven't already seen her series on her ayahuasca experience at Rythmia, go check it out. It's incredible. She goes into great detail. She answers a lot of questions, so I highly recommend it. I will put her channel up here somewhere so you can look at it. So like I was saying, I came across her video and I was like, this sounds nice. She was describing a place that was very luxurious. It's basically an all-inclusive resort, and it has steam rooms and a cold plunge, and you get massages. And I was like, if I'm gonna do something wild like this is where I need to be doing it. Now, I forgot to mention this earlier, but in case you didn't know, ayahuasca is known to make you purge. It's just part of the experience. And by purge, I mean vomit and poop, and sometimes it comes out of both ends, and that is just like a well-known part of the experience. So knowing that, that was one of the reasons I really didn't want to be in the middle of the jungle. It just sounded so uncomfortable to already be doing all of that, and then I got to do it in the jungle. Like, no thank you. My microphone stopped recording and muted an entire section, but I also chose Rythmia because of the lineage of their shamans and the diligence in preserving the indigenous traditions, as well as the on-site medical facility. So after doing a little bit of research on Rythmia, I decided this is where I was going to do my journey. I talked to my boyfriend and asked him if he wanted to come. He was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we said, okay, we're going to do it. Just a small thing to note, the way it works at Rythmia, if you do decide to go with someone, maybe it's your partner, a friend, or even a group of friends, you'll be able to share a room with them and experience a lot of the things together, but they will separate you during the ceremony. And that's for a very good reason, which we'll get into later. Basically, in all 4 ceremonies, my boyfriend and I were not anywhere near each other. And after experiencing it, I'm like, thank God. So once you decide you're going to Rythmia, the work begins. What I love about them is how much information they provide and how organized everything is. Everything is so intentional. So 30 days before you get there, there's a recommended Dieta that will help you have the best possible experience. Everything's listed out on their website, but it's kind of what you would expect, right? They want you to stay away from processed foods, not a lot of salt, not a lot of added sugar. Basically try to eat as much whole foods as possible. That's going to be super important for when you arrive and start taking the medicine. By the way, that's what I'll be referring to ayahuasca as, the medicine. Sometimes we call her Mother Ayahuasca, Mother Aya, grandmother, all of those, but it's definitely a she. So if you hear me say she or the medicine, that's who I'm talking about. I took this Dieta very seriously because I wanted to have the best experience possible. And if you're going to be paying money to go somewhere, you might as well make sure you get everything you can out of it. In addition to the Dieta, there are certain medications that may interact with the ayahuasca. So they give you a list of those as well, and they ask you to consult with your doctor. And they also have a team of medical staff that you can consult with. They're super knowledgeable, so they'll let you know if anything might be an issue. I don't take any medications regularly, but I know there was a list of things. I remember antidepressants being on there. So you definitely want to check out the list, and you have to fill out a medical form before you come anyway. So it's not like you can forget. When you arrive, you also go through another medical intake process. So they're very thorough to make sure that nothing you do is going to be unsafe. If you're a big drinker or smoker, those two are definitely no-nos. They have like some leeway, maybe like 14 days for alcohol, I think. But honestly, I just stopped at 30 days. I was like, you know what? I don't need to be drinking like that anyway. There were some restrictions for other plants, like I know kratom was definitely on there, kava, and a few other things. So definitely check out the list. In addition to your physical diet, there's also something that I will call your spiritual diet. And that's exactly what it sounds like. So basically, you want to be very mindful of the media you consume, the thoughts that you put into your mind, because ayahuasca works a lot with the subconscious. So you don't really want to plant extra seeds of negativity if you don't need to. Like, why would you make this more difficult for yourself? I'm not a person who likes to watch a lot of violence or scary stuff anyway, but I did end up deleting Twitter from my phone, or X. And that's mainly because everything on my algorithm was just like arguments and drama and beefs, and I was just tired of seeing it. It wasn't helping me, so I just deleted the whole app. I did leave TikTok because it's a lot easier to manage that algorithm. You can just hit not interested, and then you'll see like sunshine and ponies or whatever you want to see. This next tip is for people who have periods or cycles. When you're scheduling your trip, if at all possible, try to schedule it on a time when you will not be on your cycle. I know that can be difficult. For me, my period is generally pretty regular, so I try to schedule mine right in the middle with that sweet spot where I'm not having PMS, I'm not still bleeding from the month before. And I'm not only saying this because it might be just uncomfortable to be on your period, but on the fourth and final ceremony night, there's a different ayahuasca. It's called yahe. And if you are on your period, you are not able to partake in the yahe ceremony, which was my favorite ceremony, which is one of the more powerful ceremonies. And the reasoning behind that is a little bit shocking. At first, I thought it was like one of those things where, sometimes you can't go into certain temples and certain cultures because it's considered unclean. No, it's not that at all. The shamans explained it's actually because women are so powerful when we are on our periods that to take that medicine on the fourth night and to be on your period could actually be quite dangerous for you and for the shaman. Because you're so powerful, you might cloud the shaman's visions. Yeah, it's crazy. But we'll get into that more in the ceremony videos. But for now, when you are booking, try not to be on your period. If you're nervous about that, talk to their medical staff. They'll definitely know what to do to help you out. On my trip, there were a few women on their periods, and they actually got to go to a different type of ceremony. So it wasn't all bad. But for me, I wanted to do the yahe. So if you want to do that too, try not to go on your period. Let's talk pricing for a moment. According to Rythmia's site, the pricing starts at about $4,900 per person and varies based on time of year and room selection. Room choices range from solo, private executive rooms to shared rooms. I had a shared room with my boyfriend, and our package was valued at about $7,000 per person. That package included all of our meals, transportation to and from the airport, the massages, the colonics. I'll put up here somewhere on the screen what that $7,000 includes. And if that sounds like a lot of money, it is. Also, it's kind of not for everything that you get. You are getting a luxury experience. Again, this isn't just like hanging out in the jungle. This is luxury all around. One thing I really love about Rythmia is that they do have a scholarship program. So if you are someone who's interested in experiencing plant medicine and you just don't have the money and you probably won't have it for a while, then they do have a scholarship program. So definitely reach out to them and get more information. It's their goal to have about 30% of the people who attend come from the scholarship programs. So they are really working to help make it accessible to everyone, which I really think is important. Real quick, if this video has been valuable to you in any way, please like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel, so that would be much appreciated. Okay, back to the stuff. Okay, now let's talk about travel. When you book at Rythmia, you can either come from Saturday to Saturday or Sunday to Sunday. Some people book 14-day trips. Mine was only 7 days. I left from Sedona, but Phoenix is the closest airport to me, and because of where it was very difficult for me to get a flight that arrived on Saturday morning or Sunday morning, and I didn't want to miss anything. So I booked a flight and arrived on Friday evening, and I stayed in a hotel that was recommended by the Rythmia staff. Honestly, it was just okay. I think it was like a Hilton, whatever. Stayed there for the night. It was right by the airport, so there was a free shuttle. We stayed there Friday night, and then the next morning, Saturday around 10 or 11 a.m., Rythmia picked us up on their shuttle. The shuttle ride from the airport area to Rythmia is about an hour long, and it is a free shuttle. They offer it complimentary. When we got on the shuttle, they gave us some healthy snacks like some peanuts, some dried fruit, and some water. On the way there, it was just my boyfriend and I on our shuttle and the driver. After about 30 minutes into the ride, the driver said he would be playing a video, kind of like an orientation video where the founder came on. His name is Jerry, and he's super cool. And he introduced himself and walks you through what you need to expect. Once we arrived at Rythmia, we checked in. We got our room keys, wristbands, water bottles, the cups that we'd be drinking the medicine out of. Basically, they gave us a lot of information and supplies. They gave us the schedule for the week. Schedule is a bit intense. This is what it looks like. They pretty much plan the majority of your day for you, and I think that's a good thing. There are some classes that are mandatory classes, and then there are other classes like breath work and yoga that aren't mandatory, but they do recommend that you go to as many as possible. And after going, I totally get why they do that. Some of the classes include Introduction to Plant Medicine, Plant Integration, Breath Work, Yoga, Meditation. These are very helpful tools to help you integrate the medicine. 3 of the ceremonies go until about 1 or 2 a.m., and then you have yoga at 7 a.m. And it kind of seems impossible, but you can go. I did it. And they even tell you if you're tired, just come to the class, sleep on your yoga mat because your subconscious is going to soak in some of the information. So they really do want you to be at every single class. If you're too tired to walk, they will come get you in a golf cart. So go to the classes, do not make excuses. After we checked in, we did a medical evaluation or medical intake. What I love about Rythmia is that there is a medical facility on site. So if anything happens, there is somebody right there that is trained and knows exactly what to do. So before you do any medicine, you go in with their medical staff and you answer some questions. They take your blood pressure. It's pretty much like a physical. At the medical facility, they give you a bunch of electrolytes because you're going to need them. And then you schedule 2 colonics and 1 massage. I actually only ended up getting 1 colonic because I really didn't need I really didn't need the second one after like how the ceremonies were going, so we just canceled it. But I did get 1 colonic before the ceremony. And honestly, aside from the physical benefits, I feel like there was a mental benefit. It was helping prime me to get comfortable with my bodily fluids because yeah, it's going to be one of those weeks. Some of the amenities include a hot tub, a cold plunge, steam room, a gym, pool, hammocks, a labyrinth. They really have everything you need. It is so above and beyond. It's very comfortable. They cook all your meals, everything is organic. One really interesting thing that happens before you attend Rythmia is that you start to experience synchronicities. I know a lot of people experience them in their everyday life, but this is like synchronicities to the next level. For my boyfriend and I, these synchronicities revolved around an octopus. A few days leading up to our arrival at Rythmia, we were seeing octopus everywhere. There was a new octopus documentary that came out that they kept advertising. There was octopus on every single menu item at the hotel. He ended up wearing an octopus ring that he randomly bought a few months earlier. Fast forward to night 1 of the ceremony, and one of my spirit guides was an octopus. And as if that wasn't crazy enough, during one of the classes, one of the facilitators told us that an octopus shows up for a lot of different people during the ceremonies. So they say that when you start to experience these synchronicities before you arrive, it means the medicine is already working in and for you. One of the most asked questions on my Instagram and TikTok was, how do you know when you're ready for an ayahuasca ceremony? And my answer may sound cliche, but it's so true. You will know when you're ready. There will be no doubt in your mind. You may still be a little bit afraid. It's okay to be afraid as long as we don't let fear control us. So you may feel a little afraid, apprehensive, excited, anxious, but you will know. Listen to your heart, trust yourself, you'll know. And I feel like the synchronicities are a little bit of reassurance to show us we're on the right track. So we arrived Saturday night, checked in, we went to breath work, and then we ate dinner. All the ceremonies are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so Sunday was another day of preparation. There were other people in our group that were arriving on Sunday. I think our group ended up being about 84 people total, which is a pretty large group. The group before us was around 50 people, I believe. Sunday, we did 7 a.m. yoga. We did a mud bath, some spa things, worked out a little bit, orientation class, and breath work. All right, now we've arrived at Monday, the day of the first ceremony. This is where shit starts to get real. So I'm going to end this video here, and the next video will start Monday, the day of the first ayahuasca ceremony. Thank you so much for watching. Come back tomorrow for night 1 of the ceremony. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment your heart away because it really helps me out and I appreciate it. If you'd like to go to Rythmia and my review is helping you make that decision, then please drop my name when you go to book. That would help me out greatly as well.